Welcome. Hi. Hello. Welcome. It's all making sense. Another RRT time. I actually got some tea. I got a mug with my logo. I feel cool. Last time we talked about self-differentiation and what that means and what it might mean to you and what it most definitely means to me. So this time I thought, well, you have no idea who I am. And what does this Haitian flag and Canadian flag mean? And I don't understand. I found an assignment from my old school when I was doing social work there. So I'm going to read through it so you get to know a little bit about me and why I do what I do and why I'm a registered social worker and why I'm a psychotherapist and all of these wonderful things. What have I done? She said to herself after hours of heat and exhaustion. She finds herself recontemplating this adoption. It is 1995, and unbeknownst to the baby, this shift in embrace would become the predisposing factor shaping many aspects of her life. Are you Haitian or Canadian? Where are you really from? She's a dark-skinned girl. She's not black enough. Whoa, she's too black. She talks white. My mom said, I'm not allowed to play with you. It was not uncommon for me to hear these types of questions or comments. My young self at the time, I really didn't understand that I was experiencing microaggressions, discrimination, or systemic racism. I did not feel any different from my adopted family, as I've only seen them as my family. My transnational adoption has most likely been the fundamental event to have impacted my decision into social work. My upbringing, traditions, or ways of being that I embody stem from a learned environment with the only family I've ever known. However, race has played an important part in that upbringing, as I could not avoid racial discrimination that came with being a black teen in a white town. Perhaps it's my implicit memories of moments where I felt like a misfit and different, that I did not like the idea of another person feeling this way. Those feelings, if not unpacked, may become internalized oppression. That internalization becomes power over a marginalized group. This power then is held by an uneducated group of people with privilege who then make the decisions, policies, rules, and laws that ultimately create limitations for racialized groups. One of the cores to social work is social justice, and to ensure the rights, voices, values, and traditions of all people that are upheld. The feeling of this unease would become one precipitating factor for my decision into social work. Unbeknownst to myself as a teen, there are people out there who advocate for people like me, and I would become one of them, and I am one of them. That's the end of the assignment. It is saying this intersectionality that I have within myself as a black woman, adopted, raised in the family that I was raised in, looking the way that I do, has manifested itself into something that I call a totalizing identity. That actually is from narrative therapy. This idea, the story that I have taken with me and descripted into my life to become a part of who I am. Sometimes that can be harmful things. Sometimes that can be positive things, speaking in general in terms of what this totalizing identity definition is. But for myself, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both in the sense that I always felt like I didn't really fit anywhere, I know I said that my family is my family is my family. However, the unfitting piece is visually there. Then it is visually there when I hang out with people who look like me and they think, well, how come you don't know this movie? Or how come you don't know this song? Or how come you don't know what this is? Or whatever, whatever. All of those stereotypical ideas of blackness and what blackness should be and what black people do are not things that I had an understanding of growing up. It is only now that I am starting to learn, Haitian ways of being, Haitian food, Haitian language, Haitian music. We're back, folks. That was, let me think about it for a second. But I think that I've always felt like this two places, two things in one body, too black here, but not black enough here, and like a square trying to fit into a circle, like that. The most important thing is that I understand that there is so much more to me than this thing this totalizing identity that I have prescribed to myself. Okay? Let me just talk about intersectionality for a second. So that was a term in like the late 80s, early 90s, coined by Kimberly Crenshaw, and she is a black feminist who bring to light this idea that we are more than one thing. There are so many pieces to us that make us the puzzles that we are, and all of these pieces intersect and are attributed to and affect the way that we can navigate as people in society and in this culture. I am a woman. I am a black woman. I am a queer black woman. I am an adopted queer black woman who has privilege to go to this university, who has privilege to become a registered social worker, a psychotherapist. I speak English. I have a French background. I have all of these identities that make me the person who I am and put me in a specific positionality in my life that either support or hinder the trajectory that I move through in this atmosphere. Okay? That's intersectionality. We are more than just one thing. One of the reasons that I am a social worker and a psychotherapist is to work with racialized and biracial youth and adults, to support them to see the resilience within those connections of those identities, whether it be racial, sexual, social, religious, who knows, anything you can think of that makes you who you are. Those are all things that intersect. Those are all things that make us human beings. Those are all things that depict and dictate what we can and cannot do in society. And that's it, folks. I don't know what else to say. So that's RRT time. That's intersectionality. That's a little bit about me and why I do what I do. And good night. Oyez ami. Bonsoir. Bonne nuit.